So some persons may wonder if male menopause is a myth or reality. Well, we've got urologist Dr. Belinda Morrison to tell us about it. Hey, Doc, how are you? Welcome to Smile Jamaica once again.
Good morning. Thanks for having me again.
It is our pleasure. I hope all is well with you and the family.
It is. Thank you.
All right, so we don't have menopause, we have andropause. It's the same thing. I mean, obviously, when I say same thing, is the same thing that happens to a woman with menopause that happens to a man?
Similar, but there is an extension. It is true, not a myth, that men go through a period of changes in their hormone levels. In women, it's called menopause, and you tend to get it abruptly. In some women in their late 40s or their 50s, and this is as a result of testosterone levels significantly decreasing. Estrogen levels significantly decreasing in women, whereas in men, the issue is related to a reduction in their testosterone levels. But as opposed to women, where it is abrupt, in men, it tends to be a gradual and a slow process.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe, Neville, but this starts from as early as the age of 30 or 40 years. Mostly at 40 years, there's a gradual and slow decline in testosterone levels in men at about a rate of about 1 to 3% per year.
Okay.
So gradually, as testosterone levels go down, men may experience symptoms of the so-called andropause if the testosterone level is below a critical value.
Okay. What is testosterone?
Testosterone is a male hormone. It's what makes you a man, and it's made by your testes primarily. We know it a lot because it's that hormone to promote erections, to promote interest in intercourse. It's a hormone that helps to make you who you are, with your strong muscles and your strong bones. And you hear about people being pumped up with testosterone because testosterone is that male hormone. But it has a lot of other effects. Other than just making a man want to have sex and have good erections, it's important for maintaining good bone strength, bone mineral density. It helps to maintain bone mass. It helps to maintain good glowing skin in men. It's good for cognitive function in men. It even helps to modulate the formation of red blood cells so that men are not anemic.
Okay.
And unfortunately, when the levels go down, a lot goes haywire in men who have the so-called male menopause or andropause.
Okay. Is it a must that we're going to get it, or we don't have to get it?
And that's a good thing. Not all men will get it. There's a risk as a man gets older, but a man does not necessarily have to get it. And so even though a man may have a low testosterone value for his age, he may not have andropause. And so we're happy about that. But it is very important for a man to look at the signs of this decline. And they're varied. It may be a lack of interest in intercourse. It may be erectile dysfunction. It may be just extreme tiredness and fatigue, irritability, lack of energy and endurance. This is a man who probably would normally play football, but he can't finish a game. Or after he has a meal, he just goes right off to sleep. And generally, it may even be associated with some symptoms of depression.
Yeah.
So if the man has any of those symptoms, he really should consult his healthcare physician. Normally a urologist would request that he does an early morning, other than seeing him, examining him. One of the tests that we will do to confirm the presence of this condition is to do an early morning test, checking for his testosterone levels.
Yeah.
And if the level is lowered, we normally would repeat it. And if that repeat value is still lowered, then that is diagnostic of so-called andropause. Is a term that is used. Maybe more what is politically correct now is testosterone deficiency in the aging male.
Yeah. The things that you say can happen to you, low energy and stuff like that, can those things happen to you and it is not andropause?
Absolutely. And so that's an important point. That's non-specific. Someone could be depressed and have all the symptoms I mentioned before. Someone could just be burnt out and very tired and have all of the symptoms. And that's why it's important to have the blood test done. I've seen many men come to me telling me that they think that they have a low testosterone level because, of course, thankfully, many men do a lot of reading now, and they may have some of the symptoms. But when we do the blood test, it's normal, and it simply means that there's another reason for their symptoms, whether it be depression or just extreme fatigue. But yes, they may have these symptoms, and they're critical symptoms, especially how it may affect their sexuality and how it may affect their energy levels.
Yeah.
But for us as physicians, it's even further than that. It's really what we call the metabolic effects of male menopause or andropause. It's what it does to the bone. So if a man's bones are weaker than they should be, so the bone mineral density is reduced, he's at risk for fractures. And this is a real thing, that as men get older, they're at risk for these fractures. They may also notice that the muscle mass is less. So you'll notice that men will complain as they're getting older, they've lost weight and they look flabby. It's simply because when we are younger, we tend to exercise more, or we're involved in physical activity that may involve lifting and building muscle mass. As we get older, we're not doing those activities. We probably are retired, we're at home, and then we're not going to the gym to exercise. So what will happen is that muscle mass will go down. Cognitive decline is a real thing, and it occurs with this condition. And that I may see where a wife or a spouse may come in and say he's not as clear in his thinking, he may forget things. And this is simply because testosterone deficiency is associated with this. It may also be associated with things like uncontrolled hypertension, so high blood pressure, uncontrolled diabetes, high cholesterol levels, and all of these things put together can increase the risk of a heart attack. So declining testosterone with aging is a significant thing because it may increase morbidity, as we say in medicine, and even potentially mortality.
All right. So I come see you, Dr. Belinda, and you say, right, I have andropause, and you treat me. I don't even know this question makes sense. I get rid of it, or what you do, what happens after the treatment? How long is the treatment?
It can be treated, and it's lifelong, really.
It's lifelong.
So first of all, we are going to take a thorough history to find out what your symptoms are, what the effects are on you. There are even questionnaires now that can be done to assess it. Do a quick assessment. We'll do a general examination just to see if we're seeing any of the findings or the signs. And then, as I said before, we'll do those 2 early morning total testosterone labs. And if they're low, one of the first things we recommend is a lifestyle change. So exercise. Exercise is significantly important because it can alleviate some of the symptoms. The reduction in the bone mass and the reduction in the muscle mass may be improved by just simply resistance exercise. Even the effects on things like your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and your sugar levels can be reduced by exercise, and also a healthy diet.
Yeah.
But there are mechanisms or ways of artificially increasing your testosterone, at least through a chemical way, other than exercise and diet, and this is by drugs.
Right.
Now, testosterone is made mostly by your testes. Maybe about 5 to 10% is made by a pair of glands called your adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys. If you take testosterone orally, it's going to be broken down by your liver right away, and it actually may be toxic to your liver. So all testosterone formulations that are standard and regulated are non-oral. So these may be injections that are given intermittently. Locally, we have a drug that is given every 3 months. It may be by a gel that's placed on the skin, a patch that's placed on the skin, and essentially what happens is that the drug is released from these formulations. And most men will find that after a few weeks of getting the drug, that they start to notice significant improvements.
Yeah.
They have much more energy, most men will tell you. Their erections are improved, their libido is improved. And you say, if you are treated or cured, yes, but for some men, it may require lifelong therapy. For some men, it may just be for a short period of time, but it definitely works. And we can always check again the blood test to ensure that the testosterone levels have increased.
All right. Final question, Dr. Belinda. In preparing for this, I made a note of this, and it says, unless male menopause is causing you severe hardship or disrupting your life, you probably manage your symptoms without treatment. That makes sense?
And by treatment, they mean drug treatment. So what I mentioned for were the conservative methods, the exercise and the diet, definitely, that's a part of treatment, but it's non-drug therapy. So you're correct, not all persons need to have medication, and it really has to be that there's a significant impact on quality of life before we treat. Because of course, there are some men who are not candidates for testosterone therapy. Younger men who may have this problem, who want to have children, should not get testosterone therapy because it's a natural contraceptive for them. And then there are also certain conditions in which we won't give testosterone therapy. But some men are ineligible. But if there is significant impact on quality of life, it may be treated.
Yeah, I did say final question, but what about menopause with women? Everything that you said about a man, is that the way you would treat a woman, or that's something totally different?
For a woman, it's a little different. A gynecologist will tell you that yes, exercise and diet is important. There is the role for hormone replacement therapy, but that's even more controversial in women because of potential risks with development of cancers. So it's slightly different for women than it is for men.
Always great to see you. Stay safe. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Dr.
Have a
Belinda
great day.
Morrison, urologist. 10 minutes to your health. We'll do it again next Thursday.